Hello, everybody. Real Estate Ninja here. Hope you're doing well. Got an interesting story, and there's not a lot of information out there right now, but it finally happened. Signature Bank's CMBS mortgage portfolio that has been sitting, waiting to find a buyer, has finally sold. Now, when I talk to you about these stories, I'm going to share with you a couple of stories. It's very vague what's going on, some very interesting things the Commercial Observer picked up, and I believe you're seeing, just like I said before, the banking system does not want there to be discovery for how low or how unwanted this asset class is, and that is CMBS, commercial mortgage-backed securities. They are underperforming horribly, and they are bigger than the mortgage-backed security fiasco, the Great Recession, which I believe is actually going to kick off a mortgage-backed security issue, because as more and more of this information comes to light about commercial mortgage-backed securities, and I was warning people about this over 2 years ago, it's not just China. We have this problem in America as well. You're going to see a lot of banks' balance sheets change. And the reason why is because right now they're valued at X, even though they're underperforming. And I'll give you an example. It's the best example I can give you. Right now, a lot of banks have held to maturity bond portfolios, which are collapsing in value. Why? Because rates went higher. So the their value of their bonds go lower as they're holding them to maturity. Because why would anybody want to buy a 10-year bond yielding 3% when they could buy a 10-year bond yielding 4.5%, right? That's going to be worth a lot more. So these banks, they have not recognized these losses on their balance sheet yet because they haven't had to sell them. Why? Because the Federal Reserve has emergency lending going on right now. Regardless of how much they're lending, there is an emergency lending operation going on between the Federal Reserve and banks in America, a massive amount of banks. As a matter of fact, it's over 700 banks. This came from the Federal Reserve themselves. The FDIC is insolvent. We are seeing all kinds of issues going on, right? Our banking system's collapsing. So when Signature broke up and the FDIC was holding these assets and splitting it up and trying to sell them off, something interesting just happened. Because I've been telling you that the world is waiting to see what these loans, this package of loans, are valued at, how much they sell for at auction, because then all the banks know, and the analysts know too, all right, we know how big your balance sheets are going to change. So check out these stories. Very interesting. First off, this one's out of the Commercial Observer. It's entitled, How the FDIC's Poor Decisions Led to the Latest Signature Bank Loan Sale. It says, apparently, the FDIC has decided on the winning bidders. Okay, I want you to think about this. They have decided on the winning bidders. First off, would you think, and type 1 if you agree, the winning bidder would be the highest bidder, right? Or type 2 if you think the winning bidder is the lowest bidder. Just curious what you think right now before I read this to you, because the other thing that's really important to note about this Commercial Observer story, it's very short. So I'm going to pull up a couple other stories, all right? So you think, okay, the FDIC wants to go with the highest bidder. So it says here, commercial real estate, so it says they decided on the winning bidders of Signature Bank, commercial real estate and multi-family loan portfolio. The portfolio was broken into several packages. Supposedly, and there's a reason for that. If they put it all into one package, only a few banks would be able to afford it or take on that kind of risk. When you break it up into smaller chunks, and you have to understand something that's going on right now, you're not hearing in the media. These assets are so poorly performing, if the banks don't get them at the right price. Let me give you another example. The secondary market for debt. All right, when somebody stops paying their bills, let's say they have a $10,000 credit card balance, and they stop paying their bill. After a certain amount of time, the credit card company does what's called a write-off. They write it off as a loss. They go to sell it on the secondary market. They go and find some sleazy, scammy company that always is bugging you, and they have to, abide by laws that are set up to where they can't threaten you, they can't lie to you, all this kind of stuff, even though a lot of them still do. They go out and they go to auction. And primarily, it seems to be the going rate for secondary debt auctions. That $10,000 debt would be purchased by another company for $1,000. So 10 cents on the dollar, right? Now, anything they get you to pay them for over 10 cents is pure profit. If they get you to say, hey, you know what? We'll settle right now for 80 cents on the dollar. So $8,000 and you pay it, they get a profit of $7,000. Okay. So when we're talking about commercial mortgage-backed securities, I want people to understand that if the banks, the FDIC breaks them into small chunks, because they know it's going to hurt their balance sheets. If they don't now by breaking this large tranche of assets, horribly performing assets, into multiple little bits, all the banks can afford them, right? So now what they do is they go out, they do a little bit of bid shopping. That's a whole nother story. But they go out and they now know that these banks have to pay a certain percentage under its value, its face value, to where it doesn't hurt their balance sheet too badly if they can't get these commercial mortgage-backed securities to perform at all, and possibly do a write-down themselves, right, to another lender. And this is when it goes into total junk status. Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but I'm trying to give you the best explanation. But then what they do is they know that multiple banks can bid on them, and they want it to be small enough to where it doesn't expose the full market, all right? We're talking about something that you're not going to see in the mainstream news until sometime in 2024, all right? So with that being said, a lot of you said that you should go to the highest bidder. Check this out. The portfolio is broken into several packages. Supposedly, a related company's affiliate is going to be awarded the multifamily package at 69 cents per $1. Now, none of this is set in stone yet. I'm bringing you this news as fast as you can. So 69 cents per $1 of principal, even though there were several bids as high as 80 cents. My guess is that the fact that Related is teaming up with the Community Preservation Corporation and Neighborhood Restore is the reason the FDIC is choosing Related. It's a political consideration instead of a financial one. I am going to disagree. I believe this is 100% a financial reason, and the reason why is, why would, if this happens, and this company gets the winning bid at 69 cents, I believe you're going to see not emergency swap lines, but a lifeline being put out to certain banks that buy these assets, because the FDIC knows that these are horribly performing assets. That's what took down Signature Bank in the first place. As a matter of fact, that's what's taken down most of these banks. And just so you know, this asset class, this toxic asset class, oh, and just so you know, that's the end of the story. That's all we got. So I'm going to show you one more story right now, and it's about Blackstone. But this is why they're scared to death of the value. So now all these analysts are going to get to, once this is complete, and if this is true and they took 69 cents of the dollar, even though there are other bidders at 81, 80 cents or whatever, they're going to now be able to value other banks' non-performing assets. They said, hey, if they sold at auction for that much, this is what they're worth in your balance sheet. So you're going to see a lot. This is being hidden really well. Check out this story out of therealdeal.com. Blackstone and Related to company, lead bidding for Signature's $32 billion loan portfolio. Says the competition for Signature Bank's commercial real estate loans is coming into focus after bidding on the failed bank's debt closed. Blackstone is pacing the field to win about $17 billion in commercial property loans from the FDIC's debt sale from the failed bank, Bloomberg reported. The loans are secured by commercial assets, including retail, office, and industrial. Other groups include Starwood Capital Group and Brookfield Asset Management. Blackstone is in discussions with Rialto Capital to help service the loans. Meanwhile, a Related company's affiliate has emerged as the leading contender for a 5% stake in $15 billion worth of Signature loans backed by New York's rent-regulated apartments. New York is in so much trouble right now when it comes to CMBS. Because the property's value has declined since the state's overhauled rent stabilization in 2019, and New York Community Bank snubbed these loans upon buying the rest of Signature's assets. Some industry observers dubbed the debt toxic waste. I completely agree. It says, still, Related sees values in the loans, which are expected to sell at a significant discount. Now, I'm going to tell you that my personal opinion is that Related understands that if they pick these up, these horribly performing assets, pick them up, they're going to get a lifeline from the government. All right? That's what I think. And again, this is so early to tell, but I'm telling you what my gut feeling is. In partnership, nonprofit housing groups, Community Preservation Corporation and Neighborhood Restore is the leading contender for the rent-regulated loan portfolio, the Wall Street Journal reported. Most of the money would come from Related. So again, this is being backed by some type of government organization. However it's set up, the government has its hands in private industry. If you don't understand that, you got to see what's going on here. Again, the government wants to be your rescue, looking like your savior, so you'll vote the way they want you to vote. The government has become so destroyed, there's not one side against the other. They're all the same beast, and I mean a beast. It's because they've been allowed to become wealthy off the backs of our labor, and this is wrong. The joint venture bid less than 70 cents on the dollar on the loan's face value, with the FDIC planning to keep a 95% stake in the rent-related portfolio as part of its statutory obligation to protect low-income tenants. This is bullcrap, straight up. So the FDIC is planning to keep a 95% stake in this. What I want you to understand is this. They are hiding this so badly. They do not want you knowing the true value. And when I say value, it's worth crap of these loans. This is a way for the government to hide the true value of the CMBS loan debacle right now. It is insane. So right here it's saying, look, here's the deal. When the mask was pulled off of the mortgage-backed securities fiasco in 2008. It all started with a little bank over here, a little bit of bank over there. Then it moved into Bear Stearns, eventually ending at Lehman Brothers. The FDIC might have thought that they got one over on Wall Street. And I'm going to keep exposing this as more information comes out. But the truth is, and I was right, the FDIC was freaking out and Wall Street's freaking out because they did not want to see this sale go to a bank and be disclosed. So we saw a 5% stake go for not the highest bid, and the rest is being held up by the FDIC. There are going to be more portfolios of commercial mortgage-backed securities that implode soon, I believe in 2024, especially going into 2025, that the FDIC will not have the money to backstop. The FDIC is already insolvent. They actually came out and said it, and that's why they are raising the rates. And I'm going to do stories about that pretty soon, where Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, it's showing the extended costs of the insurance policies. It's a big deal. But here's the thing. It's only a big deal to people that are in the know. The people that are in the know, like Warren Buffett, are getting out of the market. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, there's never been a better opportunity in our lives to gain wealth. And one of the easiest ways to gain wealth is just be like Warren Buffett. Sit back and wait, and then you pounce. I hope you guys are ready for this. I can't wait. It's a long process. Crashes don't happen overnight. They only happen overnight to sheeple. They get smacked upside the head with a baseball bat. And then they're out for the count. They could take a little nap, and they can sit back and sleep while all of us are buying up the houses for pennies on the dollar. Hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja. I'm not even joking. I keep doing that on purpose. I mean, I don't do it. See, I did that. I'm the Real Estate Ninja. I'm not even joking. Like, this really does happen. It's hard going live. Just going to be honest. And it's Thanksgiving Day. I haven't even had any turkey yet. I've barely even had coffee. The Real Estate Ninja is out.